Alright folks, how you doing? So in this video I'm going to demonstrate what happens when you try and debate or try to slap down a lesser narcissist, in this case President Trump. Now, is Jeb Bush a narcissist? I don't know, I haven't seen enough of him to make a determination either way. I know that President George Bush was a narcissist because I've heard HG say it, or I've read it somewhere, I can't remember. But this is what happens, when you try to get the better of a narcissist in any kind of debate. Now, is President Trump belligerent? Yes. Is he a bully? Yes. Is he chaotic? Absolutely. Does that mean he was a bad president? Not necessarily. I suppose it depends on who you ask. But that's not really the point of this video. Let's just play it and see what happens.
That if I'm president, I'll be a commander-in-chief, not an agitator-in-chief or a divider-in-chief, that I will lead this country in a way that will create greater security and greater safety.
Mr. Trump. I think it's very sad that CNN leads Jeb Bush, Governor Bush, down a road by starting off virtually all of the questions, Mr. Trump this, Mr. I think it's very sad.
And again, just because Trump is a narcissist doesn't mean he doesn't have a point. That's the thing you have to understand. You have to get beyond the idea of, narcissist equals wrong, narcissist equals liar. Let me tell you something, lesser narcissists for the most part are not liars. If you corner them, they might try to lie their way out of it like anybody would. But on the whole, see, this is what you have to understand about narcissists, is they live within their own little bubble. So when they speak, they are speaking their truth. Maybe not necessarily the truth, but it's their truth. So it's the truth according to them. Because remember that narcissism is a self-defense mechanism, which means that the narcissist lives in a narcissist world. The narcissist doesn't live in the real world with you and me and all the other empaths and normals. By the way, I'm a normal, just in case you're wondering. But they live in their own little world. So when Trump says things, is he lying? No. He's speaking the truth according to himself, because he's a narcissist. Sometimes they end up telling the truth as well, but that's kind of incidental.
Frankly, I think it's very sad. And frankly, I watched the first debate, and the first long number of questions were, Mr. Trump said this, Mr. Trump said that, Mr. Trump. These poor guys, although I must tell you, Santorum, good guy, Governor.
Painted white, that's what that means. By painted white, I mean the narcissist only has black or white thinking. So if somebody is painted white, that means they're good on a narcissist radar. Somebody is painted black, that means they're bad. And this is something I got from HG himself.
How could be good guy?
Painted white.
They were very nice, and I respect them greatly. But I thought it was very unfair that virtually the entire early portion of the debate was Trump this, Trump that, in order to get ratings.
And that's straight out of 1984, if you've ever read it or saw the movie with John Hurt, the 2 minutes of hate or whatever it is. Emmanuel Goldstein, they all stand around looking at this image of him, boo, the devil, bad guy, etc. That's basically what the American media turned Trump into. He's no less of a narcissist for it, by the way, but one thing is not the other. The American media basically turned Donald Trump into Emmanuel Goldstein from 1984.
Yes, it's not CNN, ratings, Mr. Trump.
Does that make Trump a good person? No, he's still a narcissist, but that's besides the point.
I think it's very I think it's very unprofessional.
But it wasn't.
And Trump is kind of right. That's the thing. He does have a point. The American media obsessed during his whole reign in office over him and tried to paint him black, if you're using narcissistic terms. Tried to turn the American public against him. And it seems like they succeeded since Joe Biden won the presidency. Whether the election was rigged or not, I don't know. Don't have enough information either way to determine, but the fact of the matter is, Trump isn't the president anymore. And, the fact that he says that the election was rigged, in his mind, in his world, it was. Was it in the real world? Doesn't matter, because you're dealing with a narcissist. Probably, actually, now that I think about it. But I don't have enough information or evidence to say definitely that it was.
It wasn't CNN, it was me. I watched you last night for 16 minutes.
I think it's very
not CNN. It's not CNN. It's America's watching you.
Okay, fine.
It's America's watching. So I was mentioned, so I can bring up something, I think, right? Look, the simple fact is, if you think this is tough and you're not being treated fairly,
this isn't tough and easy.
So this is what happens when you trigger a narcissist. You know, Jeb just threw a zinger at Trump here, and Trump being the belligerent, lesser narcissist that he is, and he is a bully, there's no question about that. But let's see how he handles it.
It's going to be like dealing with Putin, or dealing with President Xi, or dealing with the Islamic terrorism that exists. This is a tough business to run for president.
I know, you're a tough guy, Jeb.
And of course, Jeb tries to slap him down, but Trump just comes back and hits him twice as hard by mocking him.
We need to have a leader that is principled. You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at 3, so far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeb. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
See what happens? Trump just slapped him down 10 times as hard. You know, it's not a good idea to provoke a narcissist. They will slap you down. You know, and Trump being a lesser narcissist, you know, he doesn't have the sort of mental faculties of like a mid-ranger who would be calculating in the response, or a greater. He's a lesser, so his response is instinctive and immediate and strong. That's the thing about narcissists, man. When they respond, they hit you back pretty goddamn hard. You know, whether it's verbally or emotionally or physically. You know, a lesser narcissist like Trump, it's a good chance you'd end up in a fist fight with him. But anyway, hope you enjoyed.